Diyos Marhay na Aldaw, ladies and gentlemen. I'm JV Belmonte and welcome to my beautiful Naga. Over the past years, My City, My SM series has showcased the different facets of Bicol's rich culture. Its tourist attractions, its cuisine, its arts and crafts, and most recently, its arts. Today, our cultural journey takes us on another exciting route as we showcase the region's performing arts in our launch of My City, My SM, My Music here at SM City Naga. In this special episode, we are honored to pay tribute to a great Bicolano, the late national artist for dance, Ramon Ubusan. We will relive his life and dedication in promoting Philippine traditional dance, music, and culture. A joint project of SM, the Metropolitan Museum of Manila, WCOPA, and the Philippine Star, with support from the National Music Competition for Young Artists and Tahanan Books. My City, My SM, My Music is a celebration of Philippine performing arts, music, dance, and theater. We're bringing music and people together by showcasing indigenous, folk, classical, and contemporary performances in a roadshow around SM Supermalls. Advocating music for all, we're working with communities to mount shows, exhibits, workshops, and contests in key cities around the Philippines. Broadcast journalist Leah Cruz will give us a fascinating history of the Philippines' rich musical tradition and introduce us to a group that has brought so much honor to our country through excellence in the performing arts. When My City, My SM, My Music returns.
While every country has its own language, there's only one language we can all understand: the language of music. Music has a very important role in bringing people together. That's because it connects people in a way no other medium can. Beyond the melodies of everyday life, singing is our way of celebrating. Indigenous groups continue to practice inherited music like songs for work, rituals, festivals, mourning, and courting. And today, music continues to move us, inspire us, and join our hearts in song. We will discover more about our country's rich musical tradition, as well as how our amazing Filipino talents are shining today on the global stage when My City, My SM, My Music returns. It is said that Filipinos are born to sing, dance, and perform. During the pre-Hispanic period, our ancestors would write songs on leaves and barks of trees and play on bamboo or wooden musical instruments. They danced their stories and their rituals, the rites of passage, and the remembered legends and history. Spanish colonization introduced Christianity to the Philippines, and with that, sacred music. Holy Week celebrations would never be complete without the cenaculo and passion plays. This era also introduced the harana, a traditional form of courtship in the Philippines wherein men serenaded women by singing underneath her window at night. Filipinos also enjoyed European dances like the La Cucaracha, Fandango, Zapataido, Tango, and Rigodon during this time. making way for the 175 folk dances we have today all over the Philippines. Tagalog plays, Spanish dramas, and musical performances entertained audiences at the famous theaters that time. It was also during the Spanish period that music was established as a fine art and a subject to be taught in school. Formal education in music started during the American regime, with the establishment of conservatories or schools for special instruction in music. Americans also brought their jazz and big band music to the Philippines, along with symphony and opera. When the Philippines became an independent country, Filipinos started to discover their own original music and dance. The country also took the need for professional growth seriously and held in-service training programs, seminars, workshops, and conferences sponsored by schools, government agencies, and musical organizations such as the Philippine Society for Music Education and the Philippine National Society for Music Education.
The Bicol region is a beautiful peninsula made up of 6 provinces: Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Albay, Sorsogon, Catanduanes, and Masbate. It is a place of stunning beauty and rich cultural history. As one of the first Spanish settlements in the 15th century, the Bicol region also has a rich historical and religious tradition, which can be seen in its churches and arts. Bicolano art is deeply rooted in its people's great values, faith, and family, and this can be seen in its rich tradition of performing arts. It can be said that, like most Filipinos, Bicolanos were born to dance, sing, and perform. Every occasion is a reason for Bicolanos to dance. The pantomina, a wedding dance, captures doves at their most romantic. The sinakiki, a fiesta mainstay, highlights the actions of a rooster courting his sweetheart. The pastores, where participants wear colorful costumes and dance to the tune of Pastores a Belen, reenact the first Christmas night. Bicolanos also have their own version of pandango, cariñosa, and other traditional dances, a testimony of how dance is integrated in their lives. And then, of course, there is music. In pre-colonial times, people were often judged by the ability to sing or create new songs that would be accompanied by the community or musical instruments which the singers themselves made. With the coming of the Spaniards came the faith, and with it, sacred music celebrating the liturgy as well as religious dramas. Bicol composers trained in religious music eventually wrote secular pieces as well. Today, the Bicol region takes pride in having a regional folk song that captures the character and aspirations of its people. Sarungbanggi is Bicol's signature ballad and arguably one of the country's most popular and well-loved folk songs. Written by Potenciano Gregorio of Santo Domingo, Albay, the song literally means one night, an enchanted evening encounter between a love-struck man and a lovely rural lass. In this afternoon's episode of My City, My SM, My Music, we will showcase the life and work of national artist for dance Ramon Ubusan. A dancer, a choreographer, stage designer, and artistic director who is credited for promoting traditional Philippine folk dances and culture to the rest of the world. Proudly Bicolano, Ramon Arevalo Ubusan was born on June 16, 1938 in Legazpi, Albay. His father, Dr. Presedes Ubusan, who was the first doctor of Manila's airport, hails from the town of Vinsons in Camarines Norte, while his mother, Josefina, was a music teacher from Albay. Born to a family of scholars, Ubusan studied in the University of the Philippines, where he graduated with Bachelor of Science in Fisheries. This landed him with a teaching position at the Aklan Polytechnic Institute, a school in a far-flung town in New Washington, Aklan, in the 1960s. It was there that he experienced an epiphany that would ultimately change the course of his life. He was attending an Aklanon wedding when he was smitten by the richness of the Philippine countryside culture. This opened his eyes to the immense possibilities of exploring the various facets of Filipino culture. This fascination for dance led him to join the prestigious Bayanihan Dance Company in 1964. First as an instrumentalist, then eventually as a dancer. Although he did not fit the stereotypical male archetype that the company required, this gave him the experience of performing on stage and allowed him the luxury of travel, both of which undoubtedly boosted his confidence and self-esteem. More importantly, it would provide as a stepping stone for him to become familiar with the stage's complex culture. He took in and learned everything he could. This would ultimately be of great use to him when he was ready to produce his own masterpieces. During his time with the Bayanihan in the middle of the 1960s, he developed into more than just a performer. Under the tutelage of Lucrecia Reyes Urtula, who was also a national artist for dance and who accompanied him in numerous journeys to conduct field research, he realized he had finally discovered his calling. To better understand his calling, he enrolled in cultural anthropology under the illustrious Dr. E. Arsenio Manuel. Armed with an 8mm camera, a cassette recorder, and a lot of heart, he went into what he would call the backwoods, the unexplored territories populated by tribal groups. According to retired pilot Ivan Ubusan, his brother, notwithstanding the danger, would venture on perilous locations on his pursuit of witnessing the quintessential folk life of the people.
He had to climb mountains, cross rivers. He was pushed by this love. He wanted to explore.
With this, he became an archivist of the yet untapped dances, rituals, and music of the indigenous people of the Philippines. With his wealth of materials, Ubusan thought of starting a dance company that will mirror the traditional culture of the Filipinos through dance and music. On September 21, 1972, Ubusan founded the Ramon Ubusan Folkloric Group, which aims to preserve and develop traditional Philippine music and dance. Its identity lies in its careful rendering of folk art and culture on stage. With the money he made from his initiatives, Ramon began collecting numerous collections as the group was being formed, including relics, fabrics, traditional instruments, costumes, and many other items of material and cultural worth. According to Iris Ubusan Isla, the lack of financial support did not hinder her brother from continuing his task.
Start siya sa mga fiesta, sa mga elementary school, sa mga plaza-plaza dyan, because it was a free show. There was no money involved. But he was able to come home in his heart. He was able to show off yung mga naiuwi niyang mga research niya sa mga indigenous people, sa mga folk people. So, yun yung happiness niya. Walang pera, pero he still went on with his work. Propagate, preserve, and pass it on. I believe yun ang vision ng group. So, I think it's a joint endeavor, yung education, preservation, and pass it on sa susunod na henerasyon.
Ramon Obusan's niece, Christine Obusan Arevalo, who has been with the Ramon Obusan folkloric group for 23 years, said their mission is to provide for the education of promising but underprivileged members of the community, particularly the youth, through free dance and music workshops and training, so that they may have better chances of advancement for themselves and for their communities in the field of traditional arts and culture.
Yung mga bata nakikita niya dyan sa kalsada, mga anak na nagtitinda ng barbecue, tapos yung mga iba, pasilip-silip lang. So ang ginawa ni Kuya Mon, kinausap niya tong mga magulang nitong mga to, open sa lahat. Kasi free naman hindi siya nagpapabayad kasi. So lahat ng, kung gustong pumunta rito, mag-aral ka ng sayaw, free niya po ibibigay yan.
Among Obusan's outstanding onstage productions are Vamos a Belen, Noon Po sa Amin, a tableau of Philippine history in song, drama, and dance. Obra Maestra, a collection of Ramon Obusan's dance masterpieces, and the Unpublished Dances of the Philippines, Series 1 to 4. In 1982, Obusan was designated as artistic director of the first Asian dance company. On the same year, he directed a documentary of the Cultural Center of the Philippines entitled Sayaw, which won the Grand Prix Award in the International Video Dance Competition in France. Since 1986, the Ramon A. Obusan Folkloric Group has remained one of the resident dance companies of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. In 1992, he was given the Patnubay ng Kalinangan Award by the City of Manila for his contributions for the preservation of traditional Filipino dances. In 1993, he was conferred the CCP Gawad para sa Sining para sa Sayaw for his researches in Philippine folk dances and other art forms. 2006 was a milestone year for Ramon Obusan. It was in June of that year he was conferred the prestigious National Artist Award for Dance by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo at the Malacanang Palace, in recognition of his artistic excellence in arts, significant contributions to dance, and as testament to his phenomenal work in Philippine dance. Although he passed away on December 21, 2006, his legacy lives on in the Ramon Obusan Folkloric Group, which has never forgotten the people who are at the very source of his pride. More than 50 ethno-linguistic groups within the country, with more than the 20 full-length Filipino dance works, including suites from the Cordillera, Bagobo, Tiboli, Tausug, Maranao, Aitas, and Talaandig, it continues to seek to preserve the dance heritage of the Philippines.
I'd like to be remembered as one who tried very, very hard to make other people understand those neglected people in the backwoods. I'd like them to remember me for trying very hard to bring to the mainstream the cultural communities. And I'd like them to remember that I have been using, or I was using, dance as a medium for them to understand the beauty of the cultures of these people. I tried very, very hard to to record, to document all these gifts na dapat ilagay sa next generation.
Music plays a vital role in our lives. It is a universal language that can be understood by anyone. It is a reflection of what people think. We use it to relax, express ourselves, come to terms with our emotions. It helps bring people together and has had a significant impact on shaping cultures and societies all over the world.
Sabi ni Kuya, maapektuhan lang ang isang bata, that will make a world of difference. So, thank you to SM for being involved in spreading the news, ika nga, spreading the good news about our tradition, mga tradisyon na dapat hindi makalimutan.
Magandang project yan kasi marami rin kasi sa ating mga Pilipino na hindi nakakaintindi at hindi nakakaalam ng mga tungkol sa kultura natin. So, sa paraan na yan, pakikilala nila kung sino yung national artist, bakit ba tayo nagsasayaw ng folk dance, yung marami na pong nakakalimot kasi ngayon, karamihan sa mga kabataan, ang mas pipiliin nila mag-hip-hop, modern. Pagdating po sa folk dance, nako, iba ang dating sa kanila yan eh. Kaya sa akin po, na mabuti pong nagkaroon kayo ng project na ganyan sa SM.
In behalf of SM, the Metropolitan Museum of Manila, WCOPA, NAMSIA, Tahanan Books, and the Philippine Star, we wish to thank retired Captain Ivan Ubusan, Miss Iris Ubusan Isla, and Miss Christine Ubusan Singson for sharing anecdotes about their beloved brother Maestro Ramon Ubusan. We also would like to thank our friends from the Ramon Ubusan Folkloric Group. This is JV Belmonte and thank you for joining us in this wonderful musical journey at SM City Naga. Until the next My City, My SM, My Music as we make our stop at SM City Baliwan. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang musikang Pilipino.